Welcome. Today I wanted to cover off how the design thinking method cards can be used to explore ideas and then ideate on them, collaborate better to understand customer problems, and then iterate and refine the idea. In this session, we want to focus on using a value proposition canvas to develop and refine a showcase example from a recent ideathon that we ran. I'm joined by Cav and Chris to talk about their experience with an idea that Chris came up with for crowdsourcing inspections for assets in public areas like power poles. So Reportify, or pump and pole as it started out as an idea, was for inspecting equipment in the field. But as the team ideated and worked through different scenarios, it became clear it was an opportunity to crowdsource those inspections and respond more efficiently to problems with equipment in the field, from playgrounds to toilets, from power poles to bridges and roads, and do this in a way that engaged with customers through an app that reduced the friction for somebody doing their civic duty. In this example of applying the methodology, the value proposition canvas played a central part in coalescing the idea, building a shared understanding to get stakeholder buy-in and take the idea forward to proof of concept stage, something we're very much looking forward to seeing happen. Welcome, Cav and Chris, to this session. Chris, I'd like to start by asking you to tell us about the idea for Reportify.
So this one started taking the dog for a walk around the block. I noticed a power pole that was there that was looking pretty shabby, had a bit of timber coming off the side of it. And generally the condition of it didn't look too good. I was pretty happy it wasn't outside my house. And looking at it, I noticed like a metal plaque that was stamped on it. You know, the installer's kind of got a hammer out and punched a date on the hole on the card to say when it was last inspected. But there was nothing that I could do to report that as a fault or a problem. It was just there for the next maintenance engineer to go and have a look at when they arrived. So the idea came from there. From what could we do if everyone was in the height of COVID and doing QR code check-ins, so the public knows how a QR code works now. So what if that was just a QR code and that gave you a means to kind of launch some sort of action to report a fault on that pole to that electrical company?
So Cav, tell us a little bit about the process you went through from raw concept to final pitch, and what were some of the design thinking tools you used?
We put the initial ideas on the table because we had more than one. Chris's one was voted as the one we wanted to take forward. We then fleshed that out and we started to build that. We actually validated some stuff with the customers. We did some interviews with some key people in utilities sector. And then basically what we did is we ran that through the process and we built a wireframe of what the app would look like. So from the design thinking tools that we use, obviously the value proposition canvas was the main one, but we actually also, in terms of a communication perspective, we use Miro. We use that for the bigger picture approach, collation of the insights from the customer interviews, building out that value proposition canvas. And for the app wireframing, we use Figma. So we use that to build the app wireframes, and it's similar to Sketch or XD for those people that know those. But Figma was the favored tool. It was online. We could all access it.
And through the process of validation, what insights did you gain, and kind of how did you go from something that was purely an inspections app through to something that became this sort of broader Reportify concept?
Yeah, look, I think utilising the VPC, value proposition canvas, meant that we could really leverage the experience and the skills of the team. So we actually had a chat to the team, what they'd experienced. But we thought about it and we thought, well, crumbs, power poles are not the only asset. And then we started to think council, we started to think power, we started to think telco. And we pointed those conversations in that direction. And we just said, hey, look, if you can use this, it's very easily transferable to other assets, other public assets which are out there. So that's kind of how we got to that point.
The validation process, how did that help you refine the idea?
One of the large companies that we spoke to said, look, we've been wanting to do something like this for a long time. And when we floated the idea, they said that would be amazing. And then they rattled off a whole lot of other user cases that we could apply that to. So they really helped in terms of saying, yep, that's a fantastic idea. It was interesting because I guess for us, being a small team and using this, we're able to very effectively, get to an endpoint. But I think with large corporates, it's very difficult for them trying to actually get the teams and get the thinking in place to solve that problem. And for us, it's a big problem, but it doesn't take much. It's a very simplistic approach to actually solving a lot of big problems.
And Chris, from your perspective, how did you find the process of going through the Ideathon? Did it give you any new perspectives and insights?
Yeah, I think it helped us, frame the solution and how that could work in different industries. So the ability to look broader and look beyond the simple use case that I'd identified and figure out those associated other organizations and other places where it could be applied. And we had some thinking around where revenue streams would come from if we were to go live with something like this, and had some ideas around we could be making money out of metal plates, we could be making money out of subscriptions to the platform, and taking that kind of platform approach to the solution so that you could really lay this out and have a cross-industry solution in play.
And Cav, from your perspective, how did you find the process as the facilitator, and what insights were you able to see that the team were able to glean from the process?
Look, I think there was many. I think for us, the value proposition canvas is such an incredibly powerful tool, and I guess for us, or for anyone doing this, the key to designing a successful value prop is alignment. Alignment for the team, alignment on the customer, alignment on the value we were actually creating as a group. With that clear alignment, you get understanding and ultimately focus, or a distillation of the group's ideas that align to the target. And so having our focus on the most pressing pains, gains, and jobs to be done, and being aligned on those three things meant that we could focus and refine the group's ideas. And as I think I mentioned earlier, that using that value proposition canvas, leveraging those guys' experience and their skills, and for those insights to come and enable them the platform to be able to talk about those insights, and equipping them with that shared language, if you like, and having those more pointed conversations was really useful. And I think, a funny thing is with Zoom, it's very difficult, but the value proposition canvas made us it actually created a lot of energy and excitement, albeit virtually. And I think for me, in my experience, if you're not excited about, what you're doing or what you're trying to achieve or having fun, your output is labored, and you can miss the mark, So the VPC, meant we could manage that kind of non-linear process, pull those insights in, and make it more of a systematic approach to getting there.
So Reportify, or Pump and Pole as it started out as an idea, was for inspecting equipment in the field. But as the team ideated and worked through different scenarios, it became clear it was an opportunity to crowdsource those inspections and respond more efficiently to problems with equipment in the field, from playgrounds to toilets, from power poles to bridges and roads. and do this in a way that engaged with customers through an app that reduced the friction for somebody doing their civic duty. In this example of applying the methodology, the value proposition canvas played a central part in coalescing the idea, in building a shared understanding to get stakeholder buy-in and take the idea forward to a proof of concept stage. And that's something we're looking forward to seeing happen.